Everyone, it's Richie 3Jack here. I'm doing a week in review video. I wanted to try this out for the golf blog, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this every Sunday. Just going over a week in review of what's going on in the golf blog, on the golf forum, and the world of golf in general. And we'll see how this goes, and hopefully try to do it every Sunday, and that way it kind of gives people a little catch up on what's going on instead of having to look back and maybe miss out on things. The big news tonight is that the Europeans won the Ryder Cup. They came back in dramatic fashion. They were down 10-6 going into the singles matches, and they won before the last match, which was Tiger and Molinari, played on Sunday. So, I did a bunch of simulations and statistical work for the blog on the Ryder Cup and who I would pick. I thought, overall, I would say I'll try to put this into a Reader's Digest version. I thought that Davis Love III, I'd probably give him about a grade of B+. First, we'll look at the picks. I thought his picks were fine. The only pick I kind of disagreed with was Furyk, but Furyk definitely should have been worth consideration based on his performance and his stats. I probably would have picked Bo Van Pelt over Jim Furyk because Van Pelt's metrics this year as far as his game have been great. But the big thing is that with a guy like Furyk, his game is really more designed for the alternate shot format, because with the 4-ball format, Furyk doesn't make a lot of birdies. So with a guy like Van Pelt, he can play well and force them over a 4-ball format, and that's kind of why I liked him. But really, the Furyk pick was not a bad pick in my opinion. Now, as far as the pairings go, Friday morning they started off with the alternate shot format. The only pairing I didn't like was Mickelson and Keegan Bradley, which ironically they were stupendous. It's not that I thought they were a bad pairing. I did a bunch of statistical simulations, and they came out about average for all the teams, possible combination of teams for both sides. I just thought that there was a better, according to my simulations, there were some better pairings out there. That being said, I would never expect any Ryder Cup captain to have a rigid set of picks that he's always going to stick by. I think what the Ryder Cup captain has to do is he has to figure out who the hot hands are. And if you got a team that's working out great, you stick with them in that format at least. And then if you got a player that's playing well that can't find a partner, well, you try to find a partner that will play well with them. In the afternoon for Friday, I came up with my recommended pairings, and Davis Love also had three of the same pairings that I would recommend. The one pairing he didn't have, one pairing he had that I wouldn't recommend was Tiger and Stricker, and they were the only team to lose in the Friday afternoon 4-ball. We got to Saturday. I had 3 of the 4 teams I had recommended were picked for the morning alternate shot. The only team I didn't recommend was Webb and Bubba Watson, and they were the only team that lost the alternate shot in the morning on Saturday. 4-ball, the only team I really didn't like that I would not have recommended was Stricker and Tiger again. That's one kind of the folly I think these Ryder Cup captains, particularly on the U.S. team, make, is they got to understand that the President's Cup doesn't mean jack squat when it comes to the Ryder Cup. It's 2 different type of events. There's 2 different types of intensities. If you looked at all the Ryder Cup pairings that were based off of President's Cups, you don't see any correlation between one working well and working not well or whatever. It's just there's no correlation between them. Yes, Webb and Bubba played great in four ball, but they lost in alternate shot. But you know, I don't want to even get too much into that because I think overall I'd give Davis Love III probably a B plus on his picks and his pairings for the matches. He just couldn't get the victory. You know, that's the players doing. You know, he did everything he was supposed to do. You know, and I think it kind of, the way I break down the European golf versus U.S. golf is, I think the Europeans are generally just mentally tougher. I can't imagine seeing the U.S. team playing in Europe down by 4 points going into singles and winning. You know, they made the dramatic comeback in 1999, but that was at Brookline. I just don't see the American side doing that. The other part is, I believe the top 20 European players can play with or outplay the top 20 American players. But I think what the difference is that once you get outside that top 20 players, I think the U.S. side is far, far stronger. I don't think it's even close. I think the American side, that's where I think the rift and the tension kind of comes from, because the Americans look at it like, you know, we're playing a stronger competition because any Joe Schmo on tour that has never done anything can not only win a tournament but can get on a hot year and cause you to lose tournaments that you would normally win. And the Europeans are like, well, yeah, but still, you know, our top 20 can definitely play with your top 20 in it. But every time we play in the majors, all people talk about is how the U.S. side dominates. You know, so that's where the tensions grow from. As far as the crowds go, I thought the crowds were excellent. You know, the thing with golf is, it's not about moderation with golf. Golf works best when you have something that is unique and kind of exclusive and kind of a quote-unquote once-in-a-while thing. You know, the Masters is great because it has a lot of those little things. Kind of, you know, I mean, the green jacket, for example, that's a unique thing. If every tournament they gave a green jacket or some colored jacket to the winner, it would lose its luster. But, you know, with the Masters, it's a unique part of tradition in golf. You know, the Ryder Cup, if we had all types of crowds like this on every tournament, you know, you'd start to kind of lose what the game is supposed to be. But with the Ryder Cup, because it's, you know, once every 2 years, when the crowds get rowdy and they clap after a shot winds up bad, you know, it's not all that bad. And really, you know, as far as bad people in the crowd at a golf tournament, that's maybe 1% of the people. I may be being a bit generous on that. So I thought, you know, you get a lot of people in the media, they're always looking to pounce on something that's a little bit different in golf. And I just don't think that this is it. And I don't think the European fans, when we play over in Europe, are any different, and I wouldn't have any problem with that. So, you know, obviously you don't want players and players' wives celebrating on a green like they did at 99 in Brookline. But in the end of the day, Olaf Abel had a very minuscule chance of making that putt, and I really don't think it had anything to do with that.